Hi, folks. I am obviously on your screen and not here in person on History Matters, and so does Coffee, that I won't show you until the end. I'm sorry that I can't be here. Someone who I've talked about before on History Matters, actually, my friend Richard Bernstein, has died. And tomorrow, or for you today, Friday, is the funeral. So I cannot be here. But I also will not miss this episode, partly because Richard watched every one. He couldn't always be there in person, but he watched every episode and then contacted me and told me what he thought. And he loved it. So he didn't call me and say, what a horrible job you did. At any rate, the idea of my skipping an episode for Richard did not feel good for me. So at any rate, what I want to talk about, at least beyond explaining this, is my idea for what we'll be talking about next week. I don't know if you can hear him, but he's chirping away back there. What I want to talk about next week is, in a sense, mentorship. Obviously, I've been inspired by my relationship with Richard, who I actually knew. I didn't count before tweeting about it. I actually knew him for 38 years, not just 35. And I'm wearing my Hamilton t-shirt because he was my Hamilton friend for all of those years. Hamilton brought us together, and I'll be talking a little bit about him during his eulogy. So in a sense, he'll get to end that conversation. But at any rate, I want to talk about mentors next week. I want to talk about historical mentors, mentors of sorts, and I'll use that term writ large, who have shaped their mentees in ways that have historically affected thoughts or ideas or words or actions in ways that matter. So in other words, mentors may be behind the scene. Let me say that again. Mentors may seem to be behind the scenes, but sometimes they can have a big influence. So that is what I want to talk about next Friday. You might think about for yourself if there has been like one supreme mentor of sorts in your life. And I suppose for the purpose of the podcast, let's stick it to, remain with historical. I'm sorry, gang, I am not in my best frame of mind. Stay with professional mentors as opposed to other kinds of mentors, although Richard was kind of everything. That we may have a broader discussion about mentors and mentorship and how and why it matters and who gets it and who doesn't. But at any rate, I at least wanted to be here in spirit with you and to say, here with my Hamilton t-shirt, in person, what a wonderful friend and mentor Richard was. And I'm not going to say anything else because I'm going to start to cry and it will be online. So instead, I will show you the mug that I chose for this week. It's a mug you've seen many times before. Thank you for engaging in democracy every Friday morning. Richard did a lot of public-minded work as a historian, and it was for this same purpose, for the nation, for an understanding, a broad public understanding of democracy and the Constitution. So I picked this book partly in his honor, partly because it says Dr. Joanne Freeman. And honestly, I would not be a historian if it wasn't for Richard Bernstein. So that's kind of in his honor too. At any rate, okay, I will see you in a week's time. Thank you for engaging in the conversation of democracy without me. Sorry I can't be there. But the History Matters community goes on as always, and we will be together next week. Stay safe, everybody.